cerebral palsy. I have a more mild type of cerebral palsy called spastic diplegia, which basically means my leg muscles are really tight and I struggle to walk long distances. My upper body is fine, but I have to use like a walking frame, sticks and a wheelchair to help me get around. The way I sort of explain it to people is, when you stretch an elastic band, no matter how much you stretch it, it's always going to go back to its normal elasticity.
Have you personally suffered from bullying?
I did when I was in primary school. It didn't last for very long, but the person wasn't exceptionally nice to me and my group of friends. Thankfully, it only happened in primary school, and we also went to different secondary schools and colleges. I had a lot of support systems, so I had friends, I had teachers, I had LSAs, I had my parents, and I have siblings that I could go to help me overcome the issues that I was having. Someone asking a question and sort of staring can sort of sometimes be put across as someone bullying, but that's not always the case, and 90% of the time it's just someone interested in someone in a wheelchair or someone who has a stick. I think if you are being bullied, I know it's been said before and it'll be said again, find someone that you trust and that you're willing to talk to, tell them what your problem is, and they'll find a way of helping you. There's no point in trying to get through bullying and tough situations alone, because it doesn't help and it doesn't have a, a good impact on you as a person, and shutting people out around you is not a good thing, and thinking that I can do this all by myself in some situations is a great thing, that bullying can take people down to really dark places. So if you are having problems with people, school, college, university, whatever, talk to someone, be brave about it and just deal with it in the best way that you can.
My name's Zoe Black and I'm a student mentor at Farnham Sixth Form College. So my job involves giving pastoral support to students who might be facing difficulties either at college or outside of college, and my role involves offering help, advice, support with a whole range of different things. So it can be anything from mental health problems to family difficulties to relationship problems, and we also give advice on things like sexual health and drug and alcohol misuse. Luckily we don't get that many students asking for advice about bullying. I would say generally it tends to be girls. Overall I see more girls than I do boys, and I think that's because girls tend to be more kind of willing to talk about their feelings and don't mind kind of disclosing things, whereas boys I think are more conscious about doing that. I think I'd like to think that they're bullied less in further education because obviously we're dealing with an older age group. And in primary and secondary education, obviously sort of levels of immaturity and understanding can have an impact on bullying. Younger children don't understand the implications of bullying and the kind of difficulties that it can cause, whereas I think, I'd like to think that by the time a child is kind of 16 to 18, that kind of age group, that they have more understanding and awareness of bullying and are hopefully less likely to do it. The most sort of things that I come across in my job is sort of bullying around social media. The cases that I've sort of dealt with for this academic year have included things to do with friendships, relationships, and how that's kind of developed into bullying that has taken place all on social media rather than face-to-face bullying. It's upsetting to hear about anyone being bullied, and I'm a mum myself, so I always kind of put myself in the situation of the parent of that child and think how I might react or feel to that if I was that child's parent. So for anyone, I think it's not nice to hear about bullying, and it's a difficult topic to have a conversation about. So yes, I do have a reaction to it, and it is something that is difficult to talk about. I think it affects definitely their sort of academic studies and their well-being a lot. I've had cases of students where they haven't wanted to come into college because they're being bullied, and as a result their studies have slipped and they haven't been able to turn up for revision sessions or exams because the person that's bullying them is in college or in their class. And as far as their sort of mental well-being, has a big impact. It affects confidence, which can in turn lead to that person feeling very anxious or depressed. So I think a lot of people aren't really aware of the implications of bullying and that it can have a big knock-on effect with both of those things. Most importantly, for someone that was being bullied, I would want to really encourage them to tell someone, because I think lots of people don't understand the effect that bullying can have on a person's self-esteem, their mental health, their well-being, their academic studies. So I would really want to be encouraging students to talk to someone about it so we could try and help. I think a lot of people now aren't kind of aware of the type of bullying that exists now. I was always sort of a mind that bullying was something that was done face to face, in person, but what I'm finding in this job is that most of the bullying I'm dealing with is kind of online stuff via social media. So I think it's kind of being more aware of the type of bullying that goes on.
Together we can all be good enough because everyone has a flaw that we just have to accept.
You're not alone.
Honestly, it gets better.
Together we can stop them, because together we can do anything.
We're only human.
Be your own kind of perfect.
Knowing what's right doesn't mean much unless you do what's right.
What if the kid you bullied at school grew up and turned out to be the only surgeon who could save your life?
If they don't like you for being yourself, be yourself even more.
You deserve so much better. Bullies are cowards.
Strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.